Hello, tarot viewers. Welcome to our timeless oracle reading. Our card for today is entitled Empty Wealth, and it is a card from the Shaman's Dream Oracle. Okay, so in this picture, we see as if when you look at the picture, it's as if we are beneath the well and we are looking up to the mouth of the well, and this mouth of the well opens up to the cosmos. Okay, you can see the universe from below the well. Okay, it's like looking at the eye of the universe, actually, no? And it's sort of like a spiral. But it makes me feel that we are at the empty well, at the bottom of at the pit of the empty well, and we are looking up to the cosmos. No, this is what I could see from here. And there are two reflections that we can look at it. No, one reflection is that the empty well can symbolize those things in your life that no longer nourish you, that no longer brings you life. Okay, so it's an empty well already. So it can be a situation or a relationship that instead of giving you positive things are putting burdens in you, making you feel dry, feel thirsty. Okay, so it's like that. It's an empty well. You, if before the situation nourishes you, brings you life, makes you come alive because there is water in it. Uh, it's a, now as it has turned into a situation where there is no more water that nourishes you. The situation no longer helps you, and maybe there is a need for you to leave that well behind and look for a new well that would. So it's like closing a chapter when something or a situation or maybe a relationship no longer helps you, and it's already being a burden for both of you or the person concerned. Also, maybe there is a need to consider that maybe there is a need for you to renew yourself, to maybe let go already. Sometimes you need to let go in order for both of you to grow. So sometimes it happens like that also. So an empty well can symbolize, that's one symbolism that we can, or that's one reflection that we can have in an empty well. When the well is empty, then it no longer nourishes you, and then it maybe there is a time for you to let it go and then go out and search for a new well. Okay, that's one reflection. A more positive way of looking at this situation is that when you have an empty well, you can always turn to the universe. Like here, you are at the pit of an empty well. You look up and you see the universe. So when your cup is empty, when your well is empty, all you have to do is to look up to the universe, to look up to the spirit, to look up to God, to look up to the divine, and tell the divine, my cup is empty. Please fill it up. Okay. So there is this certain this certain sense of dependency, this certain sense of oneness with the divine, knowing that the divine is the one that should fill up our cup. Because when the divine is the one that fills up your cup will overflow, because the divine is the infinite source of all the the water of the universe. I mean, the water of your spiritual life. He is the living water, the the continuous river that provides water and nourishment to the trees that are planted along the banks. So it's the same with us also. When you feel that your cup is empty, it is time for you to look up to the universe. Just as here, you can look up at the pit of the well, you can look up to the cosmos or to the universe and ask the spirit or the divine, ask God, please fill up my cup. And it makes us realize that really the source of happiness is within us. The source of happiness or the source of our joy is actually the divine. And there's a need for us to be constantly in touch with the divine, because the divine is the one that fills up our empty cups. It is the divine that fills up our empty wells. When we look up to the divine, when we look up to God and ask Him to fill our cup, then our cup will overflow, for He is the source of everything. He is the infinite source. So this is the second reflection, which I feel also is very important, that when the cup is empty, it's time for us to look up to the divine. But then you don't have to really wait for the cup to be empty. Just be in touch with the divine always. Make the divine part of your daily life. Make the divine always, the presence of the divine, the presence of God, be part of our every moment. If God is always in our every moment, if the divine is always in our every moment, if the spirit or the universe is part of our daily moments or our every moment, then you don't need to worry about your cup becoming dry or your well becoming dry, because the divine will constantly fill up the well, and you will be constantly overflowing, and your life will benefit other lives. Well, these are the two reflections that I've seen here. Now it's time for us to read what is written in the handbook that accompanies this card. Okay. Empty well. Nothing here. Time to replenish. Okay. So both meaning. So nothing here. Yeah. And at the same time, time to replenish. Okay. Diminishing yourself for another. The empty well reveals that there is nothing for you here. The well is dry, and the desert is encroaching on your once fertile garden. It is time to face this harsh reality and move on. Give gratitude and thanks for the abundance you have experienced, and let Spirit guide you to your next destination. Okay, so this is the first meaning. This might mean saying goodbye to someone or something, or insisting on changing the rules of the game. Stop diminishing yourself for the sake of another. Making yourself small will not produce the results you want. There is a lack of reciprocity of give and take. The empty well tells you that it is time to reclaim what is yours and return what does not belong to you. The shadows cast in your direction are not of your making. You do not need to react or respond to them, as they are not real. Simply shine your light upon them and see how it dispels them. These shadows are projections that you are confusing for reality. You may have been offered a shovel to help you dig yourself out of an uncomfortable situation, a bucket to drink from the well, but you cannot dig yourself out of this hole. And remember that there is no water to be found in that well. Receive the empty well as a gift. Do not exert your energy and waste your resources by repairing the walls or mending the rope. Follow the watercourse way, the aquifers that run deep in the earth, and you will be led to a new spring or oasis. You can find these underground streams, these rich natural resources, in the subterranean depths of your own heart. Sometimes we try to hold on to relationships when we know that it's already a relationship that is no longer flourishing. I mean, what I mean is that, for example, you try to hold on to somebody when you know that that somebody cannot love you in return. If it is difficult to hold on to somebody, you need to stop and think, was this person really meant for you? Because if it is difficult to hold on and this somebody wants to go away already, if it is difficult to hold on to somebody, then maybe that person was never meant for you at all. Maybe you were meant to be with this person for a certain period of time, but afterwards there is a need for you to journey further to other places, to other lands. Okay, it's like that. No, so sometimes relationship are like that. No, sometimes we struggle to keep the relationship. When you try to look at the relationship, it's no longer healthy for you and the other person. You try to keep on running after the other person, and the other person keeps trying to run away from you. I mean, if the person doesn't want you anymore, then maybe the person was not meant for you at all. You are meant to be in a relationship where you can experience unconditional love and where you can give unconditional love also. You try to study if the relationship is balanced. If, for example, it's as if in the relationship you're the one who's only giving, then you need to reassess the situation. Maybe this is an unhealthy situation or unhealthy relationship. If both of you always expect that the other will fill up your cup, then maybe there's something wrong also with the relationship, because the source of your joy should always be the divine. The divine is the one that fills up your cup, and you reach out to other people in order that they can share in the joy that you are experiencing, in the joy of in the joy of your relationship with the divine. So when you reach out to other people, it is not because you expect them to fill up your cup, but because you want to share your cup that is overflowing. So the person also has the freedom to come and go, and you will not be affected because your source of joy is not that person, but the divine. And it is only that you reach out to them in order that they will share with your joy. So there's always this openness to always assess if the person is no longer happy with you, and even if you try to reach out to this person, the person draws away, then maybe it's time for you to let go. It's time for you to realize that maybe there is somebody else yet meant for you, or maybe you're meant to be happily single. That's another thing, because the only thing, I mean, if your cup overflows, if you are in touch with the divine, even though if you are physically alone, you can still be happy. It's a matter of learning to see where you are being called. For some situations, uh, your happiness, you will find the joy of happiness is in that deep relationship with the divine, and at the same time also knowing that you are able to accomplish what you are placed in this world to accomplish. For some of us, maybe you are meant to be single so that you will be able to sing that special song that only you can sing. So there's a certain thing with it. It's learning to discern where you are being called, and learning to love it and to accept it, and having always this constant relationship with the infinite source of happiness, the infinite source of the water of life. Well, this is getting long, a little bit longer now. Well, until next time, I hope this this reading or these reflections might have helped you, and hope to see you again in our succeeding readings. Until next time, have a great day.